Welcome viewers. On behalf of Iravati Research and Communication Center, or IRCC, this is your host, Pratim Ranjan Bose. I have with me Mr. Probal Choudhury. We will discuss the growth momentum in the small and medium sector, or SMEs, in India. Probal did his BTech and MTech from IIT Kharagpur and have worked in oil and gas sector for 3 years before taking up entrepreneurship. He runs a SME manufacturing unit of material handling equipment in West Bengal. Probal, India is witnessing fast growth. The recovery has been astounding. Over the last 9 years, there has been unprecedented investment in the infrastructure sector, which is supposed to give us, GDP multipliers to trigger activities in other sectors. Recently, there has been a flurry of foreign investment in manufacturing, which strengthens the momentum for Make in India. How all these are benefiting the SME sector? Over to you.
Pratim, thank you very much for having me and allowing me to voice my opinion. Now, if I take you back, as you said, over the last 4 or 5 years, pre-COVID, we were all talking about a slump in the economic growth and this and that, and it was business as usual, and it was survival, and it was sort of very unchallenging. It was just general moving along with times. Then COVID came and hit, and we were all struck. Fortunately, organization like ours, we survived COVID, and something amazing has happened. The financial year starting 1st of April 2023, immediately we realized that there is an increase in inquiries by about 3 to 4 fold. So initially we thought that it was a temporary phase, and we sort of struggled to deliver our offers in time, but thinking that it will wane out. But since April, the number of inquiries have steadily increased, and the momentum has stayed to the level that right now
Just
we are handling
interjecting. The sound coming, is it from your factory?
No, it is, I think, rain outside. It's a pitter patter.
Okay. Please continue.
Okay, so right now we are handling inquiries 3 to 4 times of our average over the last 20 years. And remember, when I'm making this statement, I'm taking into that short span of time in 2004 to 6, when there was a spurt in demand. This increase in inquiry has also increased in an order flow. That has translated into us, our company, thinking that we are looking at incredible growth in a very short time, to exemplify how we are catering or preparing ourselves. So we have put up an application with our bank to double up our working capital overnight. In my humble opinion,
I understand you said that there has been a very loaded statement. You said that the maximum inquiries that you are witnessing in last 20 years, including
yes,
that brief stage between 2004 and 8 or 6, 7, whatever it is. For 4 or 5 years, there was a spurt in activities. So now, you are in a segment, if I understand correctly, you are into the metals downstream segment, right?
True.
So
true.
You probably are dealing with a lot of casters, iron casters, and the fabricators, and etc. So if you can kindly give us a idea about that, what is the kind of, how many multiples of order book situation that the industry is currently having, order book or inquiry situation?
Okay, without going into specifics, let me give you 2 examples. When I have just now told you that we are trying to double up our working capital, that means we are looking also at a scenario where within 1 year span, our turnover is going to double.
Right.
And this doubling of turnover has nothing to do with input costs. This is simply increase in orders.
Right.
In terms of
Yeah,
money value.
inflation has come down, so this is not an inflationary
Yeah.
impact.
Yes. And this, to me, even as I talk to you, we all were expecting a boom time since 2014-15. Everybody was talking about this boom time, but this sudden spurt, I'm being honest with you, we have been caught unprepared because we were still in a recovery mode after COVID. So the first thing that I did is I tried to find out feedback from my compatriot fellow entrepreneurs in the market. I spoke to one of the best forging units in Eastern India, and I went to him as a customer. And, and the first thing he said is that please don't give me any inquiries because we have stopped submitting offers. I am repeating, I have stopped submitting offers for the next 1.5 years.
So
I
he has
said, please
exhausted
repeat.
his capacity.
No, stop taking order is one thing.
Right.
He is not even going into the botheration of submitting offers. He has closed the tap at a much earlier stage. So that is India's one of the top 4 forgers. One is located in Eastern India. I'm talking about him. Then I went to a casting unit and I got the same feedback. Of course, fortunately, these casting unit has still not closed shop because these are our reliable partners. We are working with them because we personally, we are machine builders. Our machine building activity includes fabrication, casting, forging. We have things in-house, but when you do more things, then you need external support.
Right.
So there are 2 things that I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at a doubling of my turnover, doubling of workflow. At the same time, I am looking at a supply chain failure at my lower end. Because if I take a lot of orders, which
You
we do
are
a custom,
apprehending.
then I am apprehending. Because already my best forging unit has said he can't take orders, so I am looking for the second best or the third best. That also is a quality
issue involved.
So this is the status as of now.
Right, right. Probal, I mean, it's so heartening to see this because the SSI sector had been suffering for so many years, and manufacturing I'm talking about. And now in West Bengal, you are based out of West Bengal, both you and me, and West Bengal is low on large manufacturing units, we all know. How do you think, and you said that your suppliers are caught unprepared and etc. So how do you think, what should be your message to the SME sector? I mean, how should they prepare themselves on what kind of opportunities you expect to unfold?
Okay, so let me answer this question. Allow me to start from a projection point of view. This sudden spurt of order, there is no magic, there is no miracle. In my humble opinion, India is at last going into the second phase of nation building, where major infrastructural activities will happen. And if you look at the newspapers and TVs and government announcements, we know what is happening in the airline sector, we know what is happening in the railway sector, we know what is happening in the
Two airlines put together have ordered more than 1,000 aircraft.
No, it is not 1,000. It is 1,500 aeroplanes, which is supposed to be delivered in India in the next 25 years. Can you imagine the number of airports which will be required just to park those extra 1,500 aircrafts at night? Even if 10%, 150 aircraft is flying at night.
So what we are staring at is that last 9 years, we saw tremendous infrastructure upgrade. The number of airports we saw expanding to nearly double. But the next stage is all these airports have to undergo massive expansion. That is what you are saying.
Only in the airline sector.
There are other sectors as well. There are other sectors.
So I am speaking. Allow me to answer. Just add one more thing. As I'm speaking to you, since we have been in business for the last 35 years, and we deal with the bluest of blue chip in India. And we are building capital equipment. So eventually we end up talking to the sectorial industry leaders. And over the last 2 months, whenever I'm talking to them and I'm telling them the same thing, that what at a ridiculous level of workflow is happening, there is a single one-line statement: wait for the tsunami in 25.
Okay, fair enough. So how is it?
Yeah.
What kind of opportunity is it? Is it going to?
Now, let me get to your answer. So, if whatever I have said just a couple of minutes back holds good, this is nation building. Such opportunities, Pratim, comes once in a lifetime in the course of a nation. So, industry like ours, my downstream, my upstream, will all cater to a situation that will hopefully go for the next 15, 20 years. So we have, each one of us have to scale up to a level where that level we have to assess ourselves, and so that we can take advantage of it. A business is simply to make money.
So if I
it is an incredible opportunity.
If I can put it in a nutshell, what you are saying is that West Bengal might be failing to attract bigger industries, but here is an opportunity to get investment into the smaller segment, more investment.
See, there are two things. Engineering industry has never been a very bright-eyed boy in India. So if you look into the whole India scenario and put the West Bengal scenario, there has not been much investment. The last big steel plant, a 5 million ton plant, was built by the Bhushans in Odisha. Right. That was in 2004-5. The plant building was complete. In the last 15 years,
Tata Steel.
We have not added
in Odisha.
Tata Steel is building Kalinganagar. So if you take Kalinganagar, then there's no investment. So we are also going to fall if the true nation building, as I am getting to understand, happens. I have a feeling that we are also going to face a shortfall of steel, because we will possibly not make enough steel, but that is a forecast. But let me tell you, let's for a minute forget new investment. Let's understand that companies like us and companies who are already in West Bengal in the engineering sector, bigger than us and smaller than us, this will be once in a lifetime opportunity. And all of us, if we don't scale up and cater to it, then it is a case of missed opportunities. That is all.
Okay. Fair enough. If you miss the opportunity, finally, and the large industries grow, finally there will be imports and the opportunity is gone.
Precisely.
Now this is about the opportunity side. Now, how about the capacity of the sector to grow? Does it have the capacity?
No. The capacity is not there. We don't have the capacity. So what are we doing? We are trying to scale up. Now, to scale up...
so that is what I'm saying. Does it have the capacity to scale up? Does it have the ability to scale up? Does it have the requisite resources? I mean, is it structurally, is it enough to, I mean, are there any headwinds to scale up?
I will tell you. See, to scale up, what do you need? You need men, material, and money. These are the three primary things that you need. The rest will all fall into place. Just you have to scale up your money supply, you have to scale up your material supply, and you have to scale up on your human resource. The first thing that you need is money.
Right.
And the world over, business is run by borrowings. Right. World over. From the smallest of output to the largest of output, you need borrowings. Now, most unfortunately in our country, whether it is the biggest of corporates or the smallest of bodies like ours, banks will only provide funding if you give them a collateral. If I go into any bank in India today, apart from my existing banker, he will go through all my documentation, which will be superb, and then at the end he will ask for 110% collateral profit. I am repeating because I'm sure it will take a time to register. They will ask for 110% collateral.
Now here is which means that if the working capital need goes up by 3x, the collateral need will go up by 3x.
Absolutely. 3.3x.
Right.
But if I go to my existing banker, he will keep it at 50%. So in spite of that, I still need to provide asset of 1.5 times of whatever loan I take. Now,
right. So your ability to expand is proportionate to whatever asset you have.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Personal, company asset, all put together.
All put together. All put together.
And there is a limit for the growth of asset. That is what you are trying to mean.
See, very simple. Let's say I have X. With X, I can grow to Y. Do you realize how disheartening and how shattering it will be if opportunities come to me where the market asks me to deliver 2Y, 3Y, 4Y? I know I can do it. Technically, I'm competent. But I do not have fund to scale my operations up to 2Y, 3Y, 4Y. Forever I will be limited to Y, with my total asset being X, which is mortgaged to the bank. This is such a self-defeating policy. It beats me why the government of India has this policy.
Since both of us know each other, so you have some experience. Tell me briefly how the SME sector in China operates. You have some experience of SME sector in China.
See,
how do they solve the money part?
You have to give me a couple of minutes. I will talk about China and then I'll talk about Germany because I have first-hand experience in both the countries and in the SME sector. So China, irrespective of the sectoral size, whether it is SME or small, medium, large, very large, China, money supply from the government is endless. The biggest organization in China.
Did you speak to any smaller SME sector in China, any SME manufacturer in China? Does he require this kind of collaterals to raise money?
No. For the first 10, 15 years, see what China has done is very interesting. They have put up large industrial parks in nook and cranny of China. So first, what you see when you go into China is that industry, particularly SME sector, are all in various industrial parks. All in industrial parks. And irrespective of the size of the business, these businesses are all directly catering to the global business. They are all exporters. And also, they are behaving as ancillaries to their own domestic industry. And once you park yourself into these industrial parks, irrespective of the location, there are automatic benefits that you get. You get tax moratoriums, you get land at cheaper rates, you get collateral free loan for fixed period of time. This is what, Pratim, to put it bluntly, is what a father would do for his son.
Right.
The government has to handhold.
How does SMEs in you were saying about the SMEs in Germany? We all know that German manufacturing is riding on SME.
Only one sentence. In COVID, the whole world went into the dark. So globally, the SME sector was hurt. I have got principals in Germany and I've got principals in China. So there was nothing much to do. I was talking on the telephone with a German guy. He works in a medium scale German company located towards Düsseldorf. And I was telling that boss, how is your company doing? You know what the German government did for this sector during COVID times? You will be shocked. The German company was paying 25% salary to its employees, and 75% of the salary was paid by the German government.
We know about those things. I am only talking about the finance, loan finance.
Yes.
So do you know anything about it?
Yes, so that is what I was trying to, that this is the approach of SMEs even in Germany. Funding, tax holiday, handholding. Without this, without mentoring, you cannot expect miracles from a sector.
Okay, fine, fair enough. So here in India, we have many schemes. SSC, I mean, if we all governments do talk about schemes for the small scale, etc. At least on the paper, there are many things. There is a SIDBI, small. So how do you? And I'm told they also have a 100% guaranteed fund to lend, but they don't lend it directly. They lend it through, through refinancing agencies. They give the money to someone, that someone, maybe you're the bank who is lending you, and it is coming to you. So, overall, how do you see the benefits? What are could you avail any particular benefit scheme for small scale sector?
So you're talking of SIGBI, and I will talk about NSIC. NSIC, if you go into the website, you will see a lot of schemes, lot of promises. So we approached NSIC that can you arrange for funds? And they said, okay, we can get you to talk to one banker. That is that is that is how they will help. I have not gone to SIDBI, but eventually, by
SIDBI
holding
doesn't
hand
lend
with
it
NSIC,
directly. SIDBI doesn't lend it
so
directly.
he will take me to a bank, and it will be back to square one. Collateral. Collateral is equal to the amount of asset I have.
So clearly, what you are telling is it is not about the in terms of skill. The SME sector can really add up. They can increase capacity. They can deliver. You see, you have a lot of unused capacity. I am sure, probably.
Yes, yes, yes.
So you can always scale up your operations. If you are doing one shift, you can run it in 3 shifts and get it done.
Easy, easy, easy.
Easy, simple solution. The only problem here is that 3x rise in working capital, the for which you will need 3.3x or 3x or 1.5x, whatever, assets to
True,
mortgage.
true,
So
true.
which is absurd, because no one's asset value can increase by leaps and bounds,
Cannot,
that level.
cannot,
Okay.
cannot.
Even if you can manage this year, next year you will be in trouble because your asset value will not go up to that
It
level.
is not important which year, which is not important which year. At year Y, you will run out of assets. Everything will then belong to the bank.
But you've exhausted your headroom.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes, yes.
Now the last question. I'm hearing about a trend where larger industries or maybe larger, maybe medium or whatever. But the moot point is that there has been a lot of acquisition of smaller units that is going on at this moment. Do you have any idea why, or if you
It
have
is
heard about it?
very, it is very easy. See, the bigger industries, the biggest would be Tata's, Ambani's, Adani's, and the Jindals. And if you come gradually down, we are somewhere way below. The biggest industry knows these things, exactly the things that we are discussing right now. They possibly know it a year back or 2 years back. They are closer to the policy centers. So, how do they ensure supply line functioning? How do they avoid a supply chain failure? Either they have to mentor their vendors. What the government is not doing, they have to choose to do it for their vendors, which is an unnecessary risk which they will take. Because let's say company X realizes that I'm in trouble, supply chain will be in trouble. So he has to have a catchment of 1,000 vendors who will only work for them. Imagine, he has to finance them, mentor them. He needs to open up a whole department. Instead of that, if he simply buys it out, makes it a part of his organization, if he has 20 such small scale units, each doing 20, 30 crores, he can put 2 officers becoming the CEO of 3 companies each. He is home. He is home. You will see it has started in the south. It will become the order of the day because that is the shortcut, easy way out for the larger industries. So a lot of small businesses.
That too is not the perfect solution because ultimately a large unit is catered by too many small units, and in each level there is a long value chain. Every one of them are catered by many others.
See, we are a 35-year-old company and I have a vendor base. How does my vendor base operate? It operates on only one ground. We have to give them, well, everything that we produce goes out on credit, 45 to 60-day credit. My vendors, I have to pay advances to them to execute my own orders.
How is the period?
So that's
45 to 60 days.
My revenue stream has a 45 to 60-day lag. Right. My revenue stream.
And about your advances to your vendors?
That is a rolling advance. That is a rolling advance. The orders are continuous. So at any given point of time, he will have 30-40% of his annual business value that he's doing with me.
So let's say a guy supplies. So that means that your working capital needs are merely not restricted to whatever you are buying. You also have the honor of giving advances to someone so that it gets done. So you have a disproportionately larger working capital need and an extremely restrictive lending system, which by which you exhaust your credit limits in case of any Spartan growth.
Pratim, you will understand. Right now, companies like us are facing a deadly danger of overtrading without understanding that we are doing an overtrading. We have to be very careful.
Right, I understand.
We are already quoting strategically so that orders don't come to us because we know our cap, how much we can execute.
I fully appreciate, if on the way, if there is another problem and some prices go up, even if your buyer pays that extra price, where from he will pay that price to buy that raw material? Simple.
I will give you one more problem. I show you more problem. Annually, I will consume like 100 tons of steel. There is no mechanism in India where I can hedge my steel price. For the SME sector, there is no hedging allowed.
Okay.
So the summary the picture that I'm painting for you is India for the SME sector is the extremely unfriendly business environment.
So what you are saying is that, or if you are saying this, is that the manufacturing that after decades, we are really witnessing some strong wind in favor of manufacturing. But there is a possibility that the supply chain will fail to deliver this, live up to the promises.
It will fail, and unfortunately, the biggest industry will end up importing once again. That is the sad reality.
Unless the government steps in immediately.
Unless the government steps in immediately, and first you have to understand the problem. See, just by distributing money left, right, center, the government, whoever is lending, also has to see that the money is properly utilized. It is also business skills. You will understand that if we are scaling ourselves up.
Now here comes the problem. Here comes the problem. So the government has to devise. See, CDB has ideally in case of say agriculture, NABARD has a lending arm, right? Direct lending arm. But CDB doesn't have anything like that. So they have no experience of lending, right?
Nothing.
You are only giving money to banks and NBFCs and who are giving you at a higher rate and again on collateral. So the idea is that the government has to step in and it has to locate the particular banks. They have to work with them, and because the banks have the know-how, they know the clients. They can
they know
the clients. So they can with the support, with the credit guarantee, they can lend a little more freely. Even if they reduce the collateral need from 100%, 110% to 50%, that will release a lot of funds. to the
It
SME
will,
sector.
it will help me, it will help each business to grow. And please understand that right now, to go and take a bank loan, you need to be solidly educated like I am or you are.
Right.
And you need to employ people to do all the documentation. Imagine the plight of a guy, my vendor, who does 40 lakh business in a year. His total business packet is 40
I
lakhs.
fully understand your point. I know this. I know these are the main
How,
issues.
how the poor guy has access to nothing in this country?
Many thanks to you for giving your, spending your time and giving us this most important feedback, this kind of feedback that people probably miss. I hope people will watch this program. Thank you so much.
Me too, me too.